What's up, everybody? Welcome to another video. Today, I just wanted to kind of chill out, hang out, and make a video in kind of that traditional Seabolt fashion where I just get on here and I kind of talk about what I'm doing and things like that. So I have been learning to write Mandarin characters. I know some Mandarin. I know a pretty decent bit of Mandarin. I can speak usually when I go to a Chinese restaurant. Here's some duck sauce left over from a Chinese restaurant recently. But anyway, I can have a little bit of conversation, nothing super deep, and I understand that, and I'm not trying to pass off as I know more Mandarin than I am claiming, but basically recently I decided that on top of the comprehensible input that I was watching, because I still am a firm believer in comprehensible input, I wanted to learn how to write, and there's a couple things. I've been doing this for a month now, and there's a couple of things that have really stuck out. So I want to talk about a little bit of that. So I have my notebook here where I have been writing a little bit, and I can show you guys some of that. Now, these aren't any kind of like sentence entries. This is me practicing characters as I have in my flashcards, which I'll show you in a minute. I don't know why I started on the back of a page, but it is what it is. And we got this page, flip. And then we got back onto the regular track here. We got here. I mean, I've got pages and pages full of practice of me writing these characters. And there's a couple of things that's happening here. And I'm using, okay, there's a lot more pages in this than I thought there were. Maybe that's the last full one. And then, yeah, I'm almost done with another full page. But anyway, so for characters, I'm using Mandarin Blueprint method, which I really like because the idea behind it is not only to teach you the meaning of the character, but it teaches you the pinyin, so you know the pronunciation, but it also teaches you the tone. And that is huge, especially in Mandarin. And I practice the tones. They have their own flashcard system, but of course I do my own kind of stuff as well. But with the characters, you have basically an actor, and this isn't giving anything away. They talk about this on their YouTube channel. You could make this system. I follow their system on their website because it's just a lot easier for me to follow. But they have a video on their channel about how to learn the characters. You could probably apply this to Japanese as well. Or probably any script. I don't know. It's a pretty cool system. But basically, the initial sound you have represented by a person, and the ending sound you have represented by a location. And then depending on where you're at in that location, represents the tones. So like if you're outside the front door, it's a first tone. If you're just inside the front door, it's a second tone. If you're in like a bedroom, it's a third tone. Or if you're in a bathroom or a backyard, it's a fourth tone. And then there's also the fifth tone, like for ma, for example, for question ending particles. And from there, you've got like on the roof or in the basement or just another area. It's very mix and match. It's not set in stone. You can make it however you really feel that you need to make it. And so you basically go that. So an example is like gan, which means dry. I know that it's my G actor at my AN location outside, and then also the props that make up the character, which is the cross, and then another line at the top, which is represented by like a razor blade. You kind of create your own pattern. It's creating your own mnemonics is what it does. And based on the props that I use within that and stuff, I can make my own character. And it's a really cool system, and it helps. And the thing that I've noticed is I've written so much that words stick out a lot more. So if I'm watching something, because I learned it with this method and I've spent a little extra time on it, I can recognize and pick out the words a lot easier. I'm noticing the components of the characters, but the characters themselves that I've learned, I'm almost at 170 now. And I know that you're probably thinking, man, 170 in a month's not a lot, but it's 170 more than I knew a month ago. And we're not talking about recognizing. I can recognize them, but I'm talking about the addition of being able to write them from memory. And that kind of hand-eye coordination, handwriting is just burning it into my brain, and it's helping so much. So, I mean, that's what I'm doing for that. I think it's very important. I know that especially in like immersion communities, oh, why would you write by hand? You just need to recognize. And while I agree with that, I'm finding that I'm advancing much faster even through my comprehensible input, because when somebody is saying a sentence, I can pick up the tone a little bit better now, and I know a character, for example, a lot better just because I heard it in a thing. So I can draw out like a couple of characters on, let me actually use one of the white ones. I don't have a lot of those left. I have 2 different colors that I use for flashcards for different purposes. But so there's a couple of different cards. I'm going to draw this right now. We're going to go, so there's Ma, right, which is horse, right? This is horse. This is a 3rd tone. So the tone is going to be, right, 3rd tone. And then there's Ma, the question particle, which is yes or no, and this is a 5th tone. This is just the blank tone at the end of the sentences. Ma, ma, these are all ma. And then I've learned another ma, which is, and this is a 4th tone, falling tone, ma. Now, the reason that I'm doing this and the reason that I enjoy it is because of learning this method, which teaches you the tones as well, and specifically an easy way to recall the tones based on a location, I don't struggle hearing these words anymore. That was always my fear and my biggest hurdle in Chinese or Mandarin, is because, well, how do you know ma, ma, ma? And I know that, oh, just listen, 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 and you eventually get used to it. But knowing the characters and having a visual representation in my brain, I don't struggle with this anymore. It's been amazing. And it happens with other stuff too. Like the tones on stuff. It's like, I'm trying to think of another example. So you've got these, and then like, well, for example, T. So you've got, boom, you got this, and then you've got boom, 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 boom. So you've got T, which means body. That's a 3rd tone. 3rd tone, so it's the falling and up tone. And then you've got T, which is a rising tone, which is going to be this, boom, 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 boom. And this is a rising tone, 2nd tone, right? T and T. I don't struggle. So this is like to bring up like a question, like to raise a question or to bring something up like that. And this is, am I pointing at the right one? Yeah. And this is like body, as used in like Shen Ti for like health. So you got Shen Ti, right here on the side. So even compound characters I'm learning because of this. And being able to write is the best thing I think that I've done in a long time. Now, again, in immersion communities, a lot of this is frowned upon. I don't really care what people say. Listen, I think that you should do it. If you think that Duolingo is the greatest thing ever and you only want to do Duolingo, I say do it. I don't give a crap, man. Make language learning fun. But this is important. This has taught me, especially in Mandarin, this has taught me the difference in sounds. It's taught me, I have a visual image of what is happening, and so I can do that. And of course, I've learned a lot of combos. So 170 characters, but so many words because of compound characters, you know, combining stuff and things like that. And it's just been really, really awesome. So, and I have a system here that I do. I have flashcards that I've made by hand. And basically, let's see, I'm just going to take out, let's take out just these, some of these right here. So this is from my 3. I'm doing a Lightner box. This is from my stage 3. And so I will have, I separate by neon colors. So neon colors are English on the front, and I have to recall them. And I always do these first, because if I can recall it, I know it, and I can recognize it, whatever. So I always focus on this first. I have the English on the front, and then I write the character from memory with the correct tone and all that stuff. And if I turn it over, so this is Neen, second tone, rising tone, because this is you, respectful, which is the character you, which is made up of a couple of components. And then of course you got the heart on the bottom. So that's Ni with the second tone. So after I would write that, oh, I picked up 2 cards. I was wondering why that looked strange. I was like, that's just regular you. Neen, sorry, yeah, Neen with the heart on the bottom. And so that is what I'll do. I'm actually going to mix those up. I don't like when character cards are too close. I do shuffle these almost every time I do them as well, just to make sure they're not in the same type of order. And so that's what I'll do. And then on the white cards, I have the Hanzi on the front. This is Ta, which is he or him, and the stuff on the back showing me that, you know, I'm right or wrong. And so that is what I'll do. And I use the Lightner box. I have a schedule that I follow, and I will go from there. Also, I use Mandarin Companion. Oh, I do like Mandarin Companion. I'm going to get some other graded readers, but that's a different subject. I do use Mandarin Blueprint and their website. They have a flashcard system. They used to use Anki, but they switched over to a program called Traverse. It's all completely online based. All the cards are there. As you're going through, it has the character and you fill out the information necessary and then you add it to your deck. I kind of like that. I'm just kind of over Anki for a little bit. And it kind of just adds a little bit. And then when I'm practicing those, when it pulls up a word and says, what is, it'll give you the tone and it'll give you the spelling. So bay, for example, what does that mean? Oh, okay, that means cup, or, that's part for cup, which is beizi. And I'll write it out. I will still write the character. So it's multiple times practicing and learning from that method. Now we'll do this a couple of hours a day and do that. Now I've had a week where I was in St. Louis, so I didn't get to do a whole lot. And as a matter of fact, I didn't do anything from Monday through Friday on that. And so technically, I say I've been doing it a month, but really and truly about three-ish weeks or so. But I feel really confident in that, and it's given me confidence in Mandarin, and it's helped me with pronunciation. I'm practicing pronunciation, but also just being able to recognize stuff. It just feels so awesome, and being able to write. It's not about writing to be like, oh, I know how to write this, and oh, look how cool I am. I can write Hansa or whatever. It's comparing this with comprehensible input. I use a couple of different comprehensible Chinese YouTube channels. There's like comprehensible Chinese, comprehensible Mandarin, there's so many. Not as much as like Dreaming Spanish produces just on its solo channel, but anyway, it is what it is. I just noticed my daddy shirt. This is not like a weird kink shirt. This is, my son had a birthday party when he was 4 and he wanted it dinosaur related. So the word daddy is carved out in the dinosaur. So I just noticed that. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning of the video. I made a mental note to it and then I forgot about it. And then I saw the shirt. I don't know if I did. If I did, that's a repeat, but if not, that's why. But it's really helped me with focusing on the characters and keeping kind of a track of a thing. I've been using Toggle to track my time. Let me go to reports here. I have done, let me just sort by year. 50 hours and 3 minutes on Mandarin Blueprint. That's the only thing that I've really tracked. I did start tracking immersion a day ago. I have an hour and 10 minutes. But it's not really something I'm tracking per se, as much as just I know that I'm doing something, and that's kind of the good thing, I guess, going there. But anyway, that's kind of where I'm at. It's helping a lot. I encourage anybody. I know that writing characters can seem incredibly overwhelming. But man, I honestly think if people would follow, and this is not a sponsored video. I don't have a click my link and I don't get kickbacks from it. I honestly think it's like the best method to learn. I've used a lot of stuff and I don't dislike a lot of services. I think Skritter's great and yada yada. I think all these are great. I think there's a lot of great stuff. But man, the system from this, the fact that by looking at a character, I can tell you the pinyin, the tone, all the components and all that jazz is so incredible, because that's part of it, right? I did RTK for Japanese, and at the end of the day, I could look at the character and I could tell you what it meant in English, but I couldn't read it. And while that's still great and still gives you a great foundation to move forward on, being able to read the character in the language that you're reading is also super big. Plus, it opens up other vocabulary as well, right? Like, it's just so much that you can do with that character. And so I don't know. It is what it is. And you make your own mnemonics. It's not you don't follow Heisig's mnemonics. They set you up in a way, and it makes sense. I know it may sound incredibly complicated, but they set you up perfectly to where you create the mnemonics that you're using. And even though you're creating your own unique mnemonic, you can still go through the course. It's not like they have it set to where you're not going to understand. You know what mnemonics you've created, and it's really, really awesome. So that's helping me. That's a big update. 14 minutes. We're going to leave it at that. I just wanted to make that and just kind of let you know what a classic Seabolt, no edits, just boom, pop it up. I'm going to upload this. Probably you'll see this in 30 minutes of me making it. So if you have any questions, let me know down below. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll be back with another video. I'm working on my Warani video from where I was in Ecuador with Xiaoma. It's been over a month. It's just I had a really hard time down there. So it kind of has been an emotional thing, just getting prepped to edit it. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know down below, and I will see you in the next video.